believe. Why am I talking like I'm German? I've noticed that my English has gotten really sing-songy since I've been here. So I just got back from Hanover after going to church with my boyfriend and his older siblings. It was a really lovely afternoon. Unfortunately, I did not get any footage of Hanover itself because I didn't really go into the city. And of course, I didn't want to be disrespectful. So right now, I'm just taking some time to relax, sit down, not be in a train for a couple of hours, and eat some muesli. I really wanted to talk about culture shock, but I feel like because it is hitting me now and it is hitting a lot of my other study abroad friends now, it's just something that I want to discuss. Just kind of my first experiences with culture shock in itself. Now granted, I have been exposed to German culture already with vacations and my boyfriend being German and having German friends. So a lot of these things I had known about or I had seen, but I've never really experienced myself, or if I have, it was in small dosages. Now, culture shock is something that most, if not all, study abroad students experience. It is 100% completely okay for you to feel uncomfortable in situations or uncomfortable in your culture, because at times it is completely different from the culture that you come from back home. But culture shock is a roller coaster in itself, and by accepting culture shock into your life and into your experience during study abroad, you in turn accept the culture. Throughout these past few days, I've heard a lot of my fellow study abroad students say that this particular thing or this particular aspect of German culture is weird, or it's strange, or it's just messed up, it's not right. But for those of you who are experiencing culture shock or are afraid of experiencing culture shock, please remember that you are a guest in this country and everything that you are experiencing is, for the most part, completely normal. Nothing about the country's culture is strange or weird, it's just different. So I want to talk about what exactly culture shock is. Now, culture shock is defined as a sense of confusion and uncertainty, sometimes with feelings of anxiety, that may affect people exposed to an alien culture or environment without adequate preparation. Basically, it's you reacting to your new environment, whether it be in mental stress or emotional stress. It affects people in many different ways and at many different times. For some people, it doesn't affect them at all in the beginning, but it will hit them midway. For other people, it might affect them in the beginning, the middle, and the end. For some people, it might just affect them in the beginning. Some people, it might just affect them in the end. It really depends on the person and how they themselves have reacted to the new environment. Now again, I have traveled to Germany before, so there are a couple things that I already experienced while I was just a tourist here. I want to cover the culture shock that I have been experiencing here as a student. So first and foremost, one of the things that has really stressed me out is public transportation in bus and train form. Now, where I come from in Houston, we have public transportation, but it isn't as integrated and it really isn't the greatest, and it's never really on time like it is here. Now for me, it wasn't so much navigating where I needed to go, but rather how to properly use the public transport. To my understanding, most universities in Niedersachsen offer a Semesterpass, and this Semesterpass you can use for the bus or the train. Now in terms of the bus, you can use it within the city that you go to university in, completely free of charge. You just flash it to the bus driver and you can get on. For the train, it gets a little more complicated. There are set routes that you are allowed to take. They're generally the cheaper routes rather than the more expensive routes that go out of the state. The second thing that I had culture shock with, and I'm still kind of figuring out now, is the trash situation. No, is the trash situation here in Germany. So here in Germany, they are really big into separating trash. So you separate the compostable foods from the foods that can't be composted. You separate the plastics from everything else, and the aluminum cans go with the plastics, and then the glass bottles go into the glass containers that are outside, and then there's bottles that you could turn into the grocery store. Ugh. It's just a lot. It's a lot to remember, particularly for somebody that comes from a country that is not big into recycling at all, where we kind of question whether our recycling is going to the correct place or not. But to give you a brief overview, if you are new to the system, you're wondering how to use the system, or simply you're just curious about how it works here. So we have, again, the plastics bin, the organics bin, the Restmüll, which is like everything else. I have glass. So I'm going to start with the plastics. Basically what goes into the plastics is plastic bottles that can't be returned back to the store for money, aluminum cans, aluminum tins, plastic tins, plastic packaging, anything that includes packaging, like, or the bags that you get from the grocery store where you put the bread in. Any kind of candy wrappers, snack wrappers, all of that can go into plastics from my understanding. The organic or compost material, that is anything that can be composted. So any leftover bits and pieces of food, any fruits, any vegetables, but not the ends. From what we've been told, as in the study abroad students when we had our seminar on how to recycle in Germany, we were told that there's a lot of discussion and debate on whether a lot of these things should be put in this bin or that bin. So a lot of it is just kind of me generalizing it and then figuring it out from there. The Restmüll is everything else. So this can be like used paper towels, used tissues, any of your bath products that go into the bath trash. So like used Q-tips, feminine products. And then glass doesn't actually have a bin, or at least we don't have a bin here in my WG. We just collect it and take it out to our glass container bin collector things that are outside of my WG, and we just drop it into the respective bin. So there are different glass bins. There's brown, white, and green, and all of which cannot be mixed with each other. So you can't put green in the white, you can't put brown in the green, or white in the brown. And then the last thing about trash is the Flaschenpfand. I don't know what they call this. But basically on certain plastic bottles, there's like this little icon. You can probably see it right here. It has the bottles and then kind of this arrow. So this means that you can actually take it back to either the grocery store that you bought it at, or any grocery store that will take it. And by doing so, you can actually get money back. It's a couple of cents. I believe this one will give me back 25, yeah. And then here it has the number and it says 25 euro, so 25 cents. So most grocery stores actually have a machine outside that you can just stick the bottles in, and it will either give you change or a receipt, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't done it yet. I've only been here for a couple of days. But if there's not a machine outside, you can take your bottles inside to the cash register and they will go ahead and give you money back. The next thing that I've experienced here, in my WG, we don't have a microwave at all. It's honestly not that big of a deal. It's more of a convenience thing than it is a necessity. Just to me, it's a little funny, I guess, because I've never really thought about a microwave being a convenience until I didn't have one. And I realized, oh, I need to heat up food. I guess I'll do it on the stove. I'm just used to meal prepping for the week, so it was something that I had to adjust to, and it's probably better for me that I cook things fresh and for one serving for myself or 2 servings for me and my boyfriend. It'll save me a lot of money in the long run. Fourth thing that's been fun adjusting to has been alcohol itself. So I'm 19. Legally in the US, I cannot drink. Legally here, I can. The law here in Germany is by the age of 16, you can legally consume and purchase beer and wine. And then by 18, you can consume and purchase liquors. Not drinking just to get drunk here, it's very much a drinking for enjoyment or to relax. It's never to get completely plastered drunk to the point that you don't remember a thing from the night before. Of course, there are a lot of Germans here that see that differently. They're okay with getting plastered drunk. They're okay with day drinking and getting day drunk. It's all dependent on the person. Alcohol has been readily available here and also very, very inexpensive comparatively to the US. I picked up a small bottle of wine at Pennymarkt for €1. I mean, granted, it probably wasn't great wine, but it was fine. It tasted perfectly fine. The child's staring at me outside. Hello. That is pretty much it in regards to the culture shock that I have been experiencing here in Lüneburg. Please comment down below if you have any questions about Lüneburg, study abroad, Hamburg, Hanover, or if you simply have ideas or requests for new videos. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and make sure to hit that bell so you can get notifications on when I post a new video. I hope you all have a beautiful week, and I will see y'all next time. Auf Wiedersehen!